Merry Vlogmas!
Hey guys, it's Kayla.
And I'm Mark Allen.
And this is our channel, and normally we talk about all things Disney, but this month we are shaking it up a little bit and we are doing Vlogmas. That means we're uploading new videos every single day this month, and today we are answering your questions.
Yep.
So at the beginning of the month, we told you guys we were doing a Q&A, and so we've just been kind of collecting questions from you guys that we are going to answer. We got all kinds of different things to talk about today, so let's go ahead and jump in.
So our first question came from Hillary, and she wants to know, with your Dave Ramsey knowledge, how do you budget for Christmas spending? Do you buy gifts throughout the year when they're on sale and then save them for Christmas? And any ideas to save on Christmas gifts?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I've actually been really excited to answer that one. I would say probably our biggest tip is to start saving year-round. So a lot of you guys are new to this channel, but we do a lot of like Dave Ramsey. So he's kind of like all about financial peace and that sort of thing. And so we really like to kind of follow a lot of his guidelines with how we do finances. And what we like to do within that is kind of do our savings kind of throughout the year instead of trying to do it all at once.
Yeah.
So you can do this a couple different ways. You can have like a little jar somewhere in your house, or you can have just a separate savings account that is specifically for Christmas.
Yep.
Kind of think about like after Christmas is a great time to kind of figure out how much you're going to need based on kind of what you've spent. And so maybe you have X amount of dollars for this person, X amount of dollars for this person. Kind of add all of that up, see what you need, and divide it by either week. So however many weeks between when you start saving and Christmas, kind of divide that up by week or bi-weekly, however often maybe you get your paycheck. And every time you get paid, put a little bit of that into that savings, and it's not going to feel as such a hard, heavy thing to do in December.
Yep.
When you're trying to do that.
Absolutely. Yep, I totally agree. I think the biggest thing for us personally is that we don't go into debt for Christmas.
Yeah.
Because it's not worth it. Because I've, experienced holidays before we started our Dave Ramsey journey where either, I don't know if we never really went into debt personally for Christmas, but I know a lot of people that have, and they've just swipe on their credit card, and then January bill comes around and it's like, holy cow, we spent how much on Christmas? And it's just not worth it. Christmas is all about family and just spending time with family. It's not about the gifts. It's just not. And so for us, that rings true. And so yeah, I definitely think just saving as early as you can, create a budget as early as you can for Christmas, and start saving, just like what Kayla said.
Pro tip, that's exactly how we save for Disney too. So the second part of that question was how to save save money on Christmas. So really kind of my biggest tip with this is just to be more intentional with your gift giving. A lot of times we get caught up in like, oh, well, I need to pick up this and I need to pick up that and I need to like get all of these things for people. And honestly, a lot of times that's not really what people want. They want something that is well thought out and personal and is going to mean something. So I know like one year for our family we did like photo albums. So we got on Snapfish and I made like a little photo album of like pictures from our wedding and like pictures of our family from our wedding and things, and that was what we gave. It was and you can get really good deals on those a lot of times, and it's a really personal, sentimental gift that they're going to love, and it's not going to be super expensive. That was a good one. Thanks for that.
Yeah, that was a great question to start off with. Jessica asks, I started following your channel last June. So she's got a couple questions, so we'll break these down one by one. How long have you been making videos?
So My first video actually came out January 16th of this year, so 2019.
Yep.
So we are actually almost to our year mark. I will say I started thinking about doing a YouTube channel for probably like 6 months before that.
Okay, so the second part of her question was, how long have you been married? So we got married in 2016, so...
June of 2016, so...
Yeah, so about 3.5 years.
3.5 years.
Yeah.
But we've been together about 7, I think.
We started dating...
It was spring of 2013.
Yeah, so almost, we've been together almost 7 years.
Yeah.
And then the last part of her question was, how did each of you become Disney people?
This is a complicated question.
Well, mine is not complicated. Mine is because of her.
Which was when? When would you say you became like I love Disney?
Well, I went on my very first trip to Disney in 2017, and it was basically like a belated honeymoon for us. And even like after we came back, I really I wasn't hooked. Like, I liked it. It was fun. It was a good trip, but I just I don't know. I didn't fully get it. Like, it didn't click with me. But we decided to go back, and we were doing more research for that second trip. And I think in the process of planning for that trip, and I was like, dang, I'm having serious FOMO right now. I'm watching all these Disney YouTubers, and it started to click with me, and I was like, I get why people love this so much.
And then for me, I mean, I've honestly always been a Disney person. I've always loved Disney movies, and I always wanted to go to Disney World, and it was more of a just I want to go to Disney. I didn't know anything about it. It was just that little kid in me. I was just I want to go. So we went, and then after that, I was even more obsessed. And I asked my parents every single year if we could go back, and we never did. It's fine. And then when, like he said, when we got married, we went in 2017, and that was really when I became really obsessed with the parks. Yeah. And the more research that we would do and the more we would learn about it, it was just we were hooked. And just through that, learning more about the history of Disney, just Disney as a company, is so cool.
Okay, our next question comes from Jen LaForge. So her question was, do you have any Walt Disney World traditions that you have to do a certain way every time you go? For example, she said, we always have to touch Cinderella's slipper in the mirror on the castle walkthrough.
Which I love that.
Yeah, that's so fun.
That's so fun. Wow, that's actually kind of a hard question. We get an ornament every time we go.
Oh, yeah.
That's definitely something that we make a point to do. We always try to get an ornament that kind of represents that trip. Yeah.
And I guess we do get a pin from every resort, a pin or a magnet or something.
Yeah, we always try to get kind of those commemorative items.
So we got this one in our May trip.
And so, because that was kind of our first trip as Disney vloggers, and so that we got one that said Hemphill Ever After. Yeah. And then just this past one in October, we got the Epcot Forever one, which I showed you guys in our tree decorating video. But I would say, yeah, that's the ornament thing is probably our biggest tradition that we do.
I don't know. We need to go back and
other than specifically trying to make sure that we do something new every time.
Yeah. Yeah, we always try to eat at a new restaurant, stay at a new resort. Or stay somewhere
new, or experience a new ride, or whatever.
Okay, our next question is from Danny, and he says, if money was not a question, what Disney park outside of the U.S. would you go to, and why? Man, this is a tough question.
So we've been watching the Imagineering story, and they've been talking about all the different parks, and so I feel like my eyes have just been opened to so many things. Yeah. Ugh, I feel like I would almost say Tokyo.
Yeah.
I think
it's a toss. For me, it's a toss-up between Tokyo and Shanghai.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, there's just something about Tokyo and Tokyo Disney Sea that just seems really intriguing. I love kind of the whole steampunk thing that they have going on at Disney Sea.
The fact that that Shanghai has the walkthrough, and Shanghai is the one that has Tron, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like it's still Disney, but it's so different because they basically like relaunched Magic Kingdom with so many different rides. And so Pirates of the Caribbean is different, and it's just like it's the same, but it's different. Our next question is from Lauren, and she wants to know our least favorite Disney movie and ride.
You guys are gonna hate me for saying this. I do not like The Little Mermaid. I cannot stand that movie. I don't know what it is about that, but I just do not like The Little Mermaid. Sorry, guys. Don't unsubscribe from me just because of that.
I think my least favorite movie would honestly have to be Beauty and the Beast.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there's parts of it that I like.
I think you need to watch it again.
I think for me, I watched it over and over and over again.
Like me and Elf?
Yeah. I think I'm just like, I'm over this movie.
My least favorite ride is probably a tie between Mission Space and Star Tours. The reason is the same. They make me ill. I don't know why, but on Star Tours, when I went on it when I was younger, I was fine. And I feel like we went on it on our 2017 trip, and I was fine.
Yeah.
But in May, I was so sick for like hours.
Yeah.
I think it may have been where I was sitting because I was on the very, very edge. Like,
man, this one's a tough question for me. I don't know if I have a least favorite ride. I think for me, I would honestly have to say Splash Mountain.
what?
Yeah.
Why? You loved it when we wrote it.
I still like it.
Oh my
but
gosh.
it's not at the top of my list.
Ugh.
Don't hate me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the ride. It's just my least favorite. Not the ride that I hate. Because I don't hate any ride. Our next question is from Liz C. And she wants to know, when was Mark Allen's first trip to Disney World? I know Kayla went when she was young. Was it when you guys went a few years ago? So she had multiple parts to her question, so we'll answer that one first. So yeah, my first trip was our trip a few years ago in 2017. So that was like still my favorite trip, obviously because it was my first. But
And I went in fall of 2005.
yeah, and you guys were there during a hurricane. Like during a hurricane.
Yeah.
And then in 2017, we got there 2 days after Hurricane Irma.
Yep.
And she also asks, are you guys considering moving to Orlando?
I'm gonna be honest, everybody asks us this all the time. And we've considered it. And I think that we haven't like fully taken it off the table yet. I think at this moment in time, I don't think that we like financially are in a place that I would feel comfortable moving out there. My whole family lives here.
Yeah.
And so I think for me it would be really, really difficult.
Yeah. You've never lived away from your family.
Because the college I went to was 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
And so I've never not lived near home.
Yeah.
And so I think I really love the idea. I think I'm really nervous to actually make that big of a commitment to move so far away. Step.
I think for me personally, just because where we live, like my nearest family is like 10 hours away to drive. And I've been so far away from my family for so long that it wouldn't be a huge change for me as far as like being away from family. But we've definitely talked about it. And I think the biggest thing for us is just financially speaking, it's a lot, and just because it's so expensive to live there, but also job stuff too, obviously.
So it's one of those things, like I wouldn't say that we would say no, we're not, but I don't know that we are anytime soon.
Yeah.
But I would really like to. And then her other question is, have you been to Disneyland? Yes.
Yeah, I have too.
But not together.
Yeah, not together. I went in, I think, 2009. I was in high school. So I was in band in high school, and we had like a band trip. So, but it was so long ago, and I remember parts of it, but there's a lot that I don't know.
I went in 2012. Yeah, I went with my family, and I think that was when I first started doing like a lot of Disney kind of research. It was really funny too, because so we only went for one day, and we didn't go for Disney. I bugged my parents enough that they were like, fine, we'll go to Disney for one of the days that we're there. And so it was really funny because I had all of this stuff planned out, and like I knew all these tips and tricks and like stuff about like the fireworks and where to sit and watch and all these things. And there was some friends of ours that lived out there, and they were telling us like, oh no, we shouldn't go today, we should go tomorrow, because it's gonna not be as busy because it's a Monday or whatever. Well, lo and behold, it was a holiday.
It was like Labor Day or something.
Yeah, so it was a holiday, so it was extra busy that day, but also that was when they were changing to like their winter hours or something like that, and so they actually were closing the park really early that day, and so they didn't do any sort of like the nighttime shows or anything. And he felt so bad. He was like, oh my gosh, I ruined your Disney trip. I ruined everything. And I'm like, to this day, he still talks about it. I'm like, you know what? I'm really gonna be honest. I don't remember most of that trip. So I remembered I walked in, I cried when I saw Mickey Mouse, and I cried when I saw the parade. And that was literally all I remember from that trip.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a couple questions from Bob and Kelly on the go. Their first question is, how did you two meet, and what is your favorite Christmas tree ornament and why?
We'll give you the abridged version.
Yeah.
My roommate, she did this thing where she like had a new boy that she liked every week. Mark Allen was the boy of the week.
Yay!
And he, so we met kind of through her, and the next day I found out he sat behind me in choir.
Yep.
And I was like, hey, you're that guy.
Yep.
And he's like, I thought I knew you from somewhere.
Yep.
And that was how we met.
Yep.
And then we became really good friends for a while after
that. Yeah, we were best friends. We were definitely in the friend zone.
Yeah. I didn't want to date him because I thought he was weird.
Yeah, and I didn't like her at first.
Uh-huh. And then he liked me, and then there's a whole bunch of
and now we're married.
It's like a whole long story, and I will link that video above so you guys can watch that whole video.
Yep.
But that's basically the general gist of how we met.
Yep. And what's our favorite Christmas ornament and why?
This one's my favorite. Is my Sorcerer Mickey. So we got this on our 2017 trip, obviously. Yep. But I love Sorcerer Mickey. He's my favorite.
Yep.
So that's my favorite ornament.
And it's from like our first trip together too.
Uh-huh.
This is my favorite ornament. So it's kind of glary, but it says our first Christmas 2016. And it's like two little, I don't know, robins or something.
Birds with blue feathers.
Birds with long blue feathers that don't exist in real life. Okay, and they asked another question, and they want to know which Disney resort is your absolute favorite and why.
Well,
we should do, okay, so.
Favorite that we've stayed at is probably honestly gonna be Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yeah, I would agree.
Granted, because out of the 3 resorts that we've stayed at, there was Animal Kingdom Lodge, Pop Century, and All Star Movies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest though, Pop Century is at the bottom for me.
Yeah.
I think All Star Movies was.
Well, I'll preface that because I would want to stay at Pop now that it has the Skyliner. I think that would change our mind a little bit.
No, I still like All-Star Movies better.
Okay.
But out of all of them, Animal Kingdom Lodge, I think, obviously is going to be my favorite that we have stayed at. Now, my favorite resort, like in general...
We should go 3, 2, 1 and say the same resort. We're going to like count down and say our number 1 favorite resort and see if it's the same. Because we don't know. We haven't talked about this.
It's not the same.
Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Animal
Polynesian.
Kingdom Lodge.
What?
Animal Kingdom Lodge is my favorite.
You don't like the Poly?
I didn't say I didn't like the Poly. It's not my favorite.
Oh, the Poly is my favorite.
But I'm an animal person.
Yeah.
Also, I love, like, African theming. Like, that is my jam.
Yeah, and see, I kind of like the tropical,
I don't
beachy.
like the beach.
Yeah.
Like, that is
To me, I love the music at the Poly. I
like
the smell.
the Poly. I do think the Poly is fun, and I really enjoy visiting it. But overall, I like Animal Kingdom Lodge better.
Yeah. I would say, like, if the Poly didn't exist, I would have to say, like, probably Contemporary. Just because the monorail loop. Like, I freaking love the monorail. Okay, our next question is from Desty. And their question is, what do you guys do for a living? So I work for a credit union, and I'm, in a nutshell, basically a banker.
And then I am a bridal consultant, so I sell wedding dresses.
I sell money.
Okay. However, I will say my background is actually in costume design. That's what I went to school for, and I did work at a theater helping with costume stuff for a few summers. And then when we were engaged, I was needing to do something else until we got married, and so I was like, well, I've always wanted to try bridal, so let's do that. And here I am 4 years later.
Yep. Yeah, so I started out in retail, so I did that for a little while, and then I was like, yeah, I'm over these hours. I was tired of like working till 10, 11 o'clock at night and Black Friday and all of that, and so I was like, I'm gonna go work for a bank. Mm-hmm. So I did.
But his degree is in music.
Yeah, which I still like. Music is still a huge passion of mine, and that's like honestly one thing that I really love about the Disney parks is the musics. The music and the soundtracks. But I still play keyboard and synthesizer and stuff for our church and do all of that. So
we have more questions than I thought. Is this the last one?
Okay, so this is our last one. This one is also from Lauren, and she goes, or she wants to know which international Disney park is at the top of your list to visit. So,
oh no, we answered this already.
We did. So just to recap, Shanghai for me.
Tokyo
for you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was so much fun.
Yes. Sorry, this is a long video.
Yep.
But we've never done an actual Q&A video before, so we thought this would be a really fun one to do, especially for Vlogmas when we got all kinds of fun content going on. So we hope you enjoyed this video.
But before we go,
socks.
All right. We are gonna open number 5.
We should do a random number. Let's do like this one.
Oh.
Number 11.
Oh, you're not going in order.
We haven't been doing them in order.
Well, but now we're like actually in real life not doing them in order.
So, ooh. Wow. Those are cute. So it's just a little Minnie and Mickey, and they say they like each other, and they're holding hands. Alrighty guys, well I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you give us a big thumbs up, and comment down below, were you surprised by any of our answers that we gave to these questions? Do you have any more questions for us? We'd be happy to answer those in the comments, so just leave those down below. And of course, as always, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of our other fun content. Don't forget, we have a big surprise coming up soon, so you want to make sure that your notification bell is on so that you don't miss it. Alrighty.
Yep.
That's all we have for you guys today. We'll see you next time. Bye.